Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video, I will mention about the directory hierarchy in Linux and Unix systems. So the topic is something that I am going to write here, people. The directory hierarchy in a Linux or Unix system. Let me start by mentioning about what is a directory. What is a directory in a Linux or Unix system? Okay, the answer is the directory in a Linux or Unix system is very similar in purpose to the folder in Microsoft Windows operating system. That's the answer for this question, people. What is a directory in a Linux or Unix system? The directory in a Linux or Unix system is very much similar in purpose to the folder in Microsoft Windows operating system. In case of Microsoft Windows operating system, a folder can contain a number of subfolders and files. In a very similar way, I'll say like this, people. In a very similar way, I'll say like this, a directory in a Linux or Unix system can contain subdirectories and files. Okay, so that's something I hope you are now very clear, people, about what is a directory in a Linux or Unix system. Now I will highlight one important difference, people, between Microsoft Windows operating system and the Linux operating system. Let me now tell you about that. One important difference between Microsoft Windows operating system and Linux or Unix system will be like this, people. I'll mention that in the next line. Okay, what is that difference? One important difference that I am highlighting between what is that one important difference between Microsoft Windows operating system and Linux or Unix system? Here it is. In Microsoft Windows operating system, every hard disk will get a unique drive name like C:, D:, etc. And this way, every hard disk will have its own folder hierarchy, I can say. This is in Microsoft Windows operating system, people. Okay, and now for example, the C drive will have its own folder hierarchy, and the D drive will have its own folder hierarchy. So that's the approach that Microsoft Windows operating system follows with respect to the hard disk that are available in the Microsoft Windows system or Microsoft Windows based system. Now, coming to the Linux and Unix side, people, it is like this. There will be only one directory at the top of the directory hierarchy in a Linux or Unix system, that is called the root directory. The root directory is indicated with a forward slash, people. In case of Linux and Unix systems, the directory hierarchy will start from the root directory onwards, and there will be only one root directory in a Linux system or a Unix system. Okay, so I'll clarify this better, people. I'm sorry. I'll write from the beginning about Linux and Unix portion here. In a Linux or Unix system, the directory hierarchy will start from what is called the root directory. And it is like this, people. In case of Linux and Unix systems, there will be only one root directory in any Linux or Unix system, irrespective of the number of hard disks in that Linux or Unix system. So please remember this, people. In case of Unix and Linux systems, even if I have, let's say, 10 different hard disks in that Linux or Unix system, there will be only one root directory. So please be aware of this important difference between Microsoft Windows operating system and Linux / Unix systems, people. All right. Now, in order to explain this in a little more detailed approach, I have this paint document where I have mentioned about the directory hierarchy in Linux and Unix systems like this, people. Now, I have already told you that the root directory is at the top of the directory hierarchy. That is what is indicated with a forward slash. So please remember this, people. The root directory is indicated with a forward slash. So from there, from the forward slash onwards, the root from the forward slash onwards, the directory hierarchy starts in a Linux or Unix system. So that is what I am depicting here, people. Forward slash indicates the top of the directory hierarchy. Now, below the root directory, there will be a number of subdirectories, like some of these subdirectories that I have mentioned here. etc is a subdirectory that resides below the root directory. In addition, the root directory will have a number of other subdirectories like home, root. This is ROOT. The word root, people, there is a subdirectory with the name root. Below the root directory, that's the forward slash, and this directory, subdirectory with the name root, it is the home directory for the root user in case of Linux and Unix systems. The USR directory is a subdirectory below the root directory. Then we also have var subdirectory below the root directory, and I am mentioning like this, people, and many more subdirectories are there below the root directory. Alright, then here are two important points I wanted to mention, people, about the directory hierarchy in Linux and Unix system. About the directory hierarchy in Linux and Unix systems. This is just to repeat what I told already. In any Linux or Unix system, the directory hierarchy always starts from the root directory onwards, like what I have depicted here, people, and the root directory is indicated with a forward slash. This root directory can have a number of subdirectories. Some of the subdirectories below the root directory are depicted here, people, like etc, home, root, and so on. Now these subdirectories can have these subdirectories in turn can have their own subdirectories and files. This way, the Linux and Unix systems will have a huge directory hierarchy starting from the root directory onwards. Now I will write a little bit about these subdirectories that I have depicted here, people, in this paint document. However, there are many more subdirectories that are available below the root directory, and what you will be doing is, when you work with the Linux and Unix systems in real-time projects, definitely you will be working with a lot of subdirectories in the directory hierarchy of the Linux system or the Unix system with which you are working. Now I will write in a separate notepad document about the purpose of some of these subdirectories that I have listed here, people, like this. This forward slash is the root directory. etc is a subdirectory below root directory. In the Linux or Unix system, we can access that etc subdirectory below root with a path like this, people, a forward slash, that is the root directory, and etc is the subdirectory. Now what is the purpose of this directory? This directory is used to maintain system configuration information, right? I'll say like this, people, some important directories in Linux and Unix systems. Linux and Unix systems. So /etc directory and its contents, they are used to maintain the system configuration information. And then what about the next one, people, here, /home. I'll write a little slowly. Forward slash, this is for the root directory. The root directory has a subdirectory with the name home, and this directory contains the home directories for the different users in the system. Then what about the next one, people? I'll mention this. Okay, root subdirectory below the root directory. It's like this, people. The forward slash that I am writing here, this is the root directory, and below that there will be a subdirectory with the name root, R-O-O-T, a word like this, and this directory is the home directory for the root user. Now please do not worry about all these directories and purposes for them that I am writing, people. when it comes to system administration, definitely you are going to understand and use these directories appropriately. And I will tell you about those details about these directories that I'm writing here in the context of system administration in a different playlist. Now coming to the next directory that I depicted here, okay, the root directory has USR as a subdirectory. What is the purpose of this? Yeah, oh sorry, it is root directory first followed by USR subdirectory. The purpose of this directory is this directory contains files that can be used by different users in the system. Please do not worry about the purpose of these directories at this moment, people. For now, please understand that the directory hierarchy in Linux and Unix systems will look like this, and I am just writing a little bit about some of the important directories in Linux and Unix systems. This one, people, /var, this directory, it contains variable length log files. I'll write here, because in a Linux system or a Unix system, there will be a lot of logs that are maintained, and many of those logs are maintained here in this directory. This directory contains the variable length log files. Why it is variable length log files? Because typically these log files maintained in this directory will increase in size. So that is the reason that is the reason these are variable length log files, and the directory containing these log files is called /var. So here you can notice, people, the forward slash here, this is the root directory. Below that there is a subdirectory with the name var, and this directory contains the variable length log files. Alright, people, I will conclude the presentations for this topic now. Please subscribe to this channel and also share this channel if you find that this channel is useful to you in learning Linux related topics. Thank you.